Come on, put your hands up. Are you ready?
And we welcome you guys into a brand new episode of Time to Football. My name is Hassan Khan, the host of this channel. It's Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen. Nothing much really going on here except that we're just going to be talking about football. Get you guys caught up with some NFL news and notes that's going to be going around the league. And we know some more injury updates and news on some players that might have an effect on their availability for this weekend if they're going to be playing or not, as well as getting you caught up on a couple of more releases that actually happened, which was kind of surprising, including Le'Veon Bell. I think that's actually the most surprising one. I'm going to move this light because it's just in my face real quick. We're live, brother. We're live. Anything can happen live. We appreciate you guys joining in for this episode of Time to Football. And then we're also going to get you caught up with our power rankings for today's show as well. For Week 11, heading into Week 11, who's the best team in the NFL? Did anyone drop? Did anyone? Who's the biggest move up? And who's the biggest team that kind of suffered the most? I mean, there were a lot of surprises this past week. A lot. It was Washington defeating Tampa Bay was one. Minnesota even defeating Los Angeles. I would say that was a nice surprise. And then I guess the LA teams just continued to take an L because San Francisco shocked the world when they defeated the LA Rams on Monday Night Football. So a lot of surprises to happen that affected our power rankings, which we're going to get you caught up on all of that as well. You guys are continuing to tune into the live chat. Why am I peeking right here? Check. All right. There we go. A little bit better. You guys are continuing to leave your comments down in the chat below. Monroe, Russell Wilson, or Aaron Rodgers. Oh my gosh, getting straight to it. Good morning. How you doing? No, I appreciate you tuning in. I will have a whole segment dedicated to answering questions because I know that's what you guys want to see. But yes, Marcio saying morning, everyone. Morning and low, always tuning in with us, saying good morning as well. Yo, I'm back. Cam Voice, Ron Real TV. Yes, sir. He is back. And then you guys are continuing to leave your comments as well. But yeah, I'm going to get to you guys. Miguel saying good morning as well. I will get to you guys, I promise. Stick with me towards the end of the show. I'll actually show you a little bit of a topic bar to show you what's going to be happening here. So we've got, if you can see this, you're watching this on YouTube and not listen to the podcast app. By the way, I don't know how much I promote this, but this podcast goes up on iTunes. If you want to listen to us on the go, you can't tune into a live stream. Hey, listen to us on the go. I just take the audio from this, like right after I get off of the stream. I upload it. It takes like a few minutes or so. And then you can listen to it on the go. But yeah, we've got NFL news that starts and sits. So this is what I did every week for like the last 2-3 weeks. I previewed starts and sits, or I went over the starts and sits videos, kind of give my brief analysis on it. I'm still debating on whether I should do that or not, and I'll get into why in just a second. Power rankings, which we're going to show you, and then viewer questions. So if you guys are asking your questions, I promise I'll get to you guys. I'm going to go from order from top to bottom. So just hang with me, and I promise I will get to you guys. All right, but what do we've got? NFL news and notes that's going around the league. All right, so this is news that we actually just heard probably 3 minutes ago. For you guys that have any stock in Miles Sanders is officially activated off of injured reserve for the 21-day practice window. They're going to see if they need to activate him off for good, but Miles Sanders is going to be coming back. I don't know if that means that Jordan Howard or Boston Scott are going to continue to get the carries in that offense, but as we know right now, Miles Sanders has been activated, and he's going to be what we presume to be the Eagles' lead running back. So this was actually kind of a short window for him. I mean, he was on injured reserve for 3 weeks, but for him to just only take 3 weeks to recover with that ankle sprain, they're just going to wait and see. So we'll find out. They got a couple of weeks. If they can't play him this Sunday, then they can wait the next Sunday. They'll be fine. But Miles Sanders has been activated. He's going to start practicing. Now, here's the tricky thing about practicing with people that are activated off of injured reserve. The tricky thing about that is that they don't have to show their practice availability on any injury reports or anything like that. So that means that he could be limited, he could be a full participant. We don't know. We won't know. All we know is that he's been activated, and by the time Sunday comes around, if he's going to be playing or not. So throughout the week, can't really monitor his status. Joe Flacco is officially starting for the not the New England Patriots, that'd be wild. The New York Jets. I wouldn't say official, but Robert Saleh and the whole coaching staff is planning for Joe Flacco to get the majority of the work to be the starting quarterback for the New York Jets this Sunday. Let's see if it works out against the Miami Dolphins, but Joe Flacco is going to be starting. They still want to rest Zach Wilson. Le'Veon Bell has officially been released by the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this isn't necessarily because of his poor performance. I mean, his performance wasn't really poor, I would say. It wasn't extraordinary, but it wasn't too bad. They released him because when you continue to sign a player off the practice squad, they can only play in a certain amount of games, maximum number of games before you got to be like, all right, are you going to keep this guy for good, or are you just going to continue to put him on the practice squad? You can't do that. You got to keep them on your roster for good. And they came down to the decision of, okay, well, it's come down to we've been signing Le'Veon Bell every week off the practice squad, on and off, on and off. And it's just came down to the decision of we got to let him go since he reached the maximum number of games. That gives me a little bit of sign. We haven't heard any news yet, but that gives me a little bit of an inkling that Latavius Murray is coming back very, very soon. If it's not this week, it's going to be next week. So Latavius Murray is going to be coming back. They've made the decision to keep Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, and Tyson Williams as their three backs over Le'Veon Bell. So I don't know if that means that Tyson Williams is going to get the bulk of the carries. I doubt it. What I'm leaning towards is that Latavius Murray is going to be coming back. So that's my analysis on it. Le'Veon Bell has been released. Richard Sherman, so he suffered a calf strain, grade 2 calf strain, this past week in that game against the Washington football team. He was held out of the game very early on, actually. Did not play, and now we know that he's a grade 2 calf strain. It's monitor his status. We don't know if he's going to be playing this week or not. Joey Bosa, Joey Bosa has will not be playing, actually, more than likely, this week for the LA Chargers Sunday Night Football. He got the COVID. He got the COVID-19. Oof. So Joey Bosa more than likely will be out, as well as Minka Fitzpatrick has been placed on the COVID-19 list as well. Mike Tomlin already came out and said, yeah, more than likely, Minka Fitzpatrick is not going to be playing this weekend. Cordero Patterson. So there's been a little bit of murmur on his status with the low ankle sprain that he has. He was limited in practice on Tuesday. They have a short week. Keep that in mind. We don't know for sure if he's going to be playing, if he's going to be the starting running back, if it's going to be Mike Davis. Wayne Gallman's going to get into the mix as well. But Cordero Patterson was limited. I doubt he's going to play. The Falcons, according to multiple reports, have been pessimistic, not optimistic about his availability. So Cordero Patterson, watch out for him. Elijah Mitchell broke his finger. His status for this week is unclear. If his status is unclear, that makes Jeff Wilson an instant starter for the San Francisco 49ers. So we'll see in a second if Elijah Mitchell will be playing this weekend. It might be like down to a game time decision, questionable decision. If it was a quarterback, more than likely he wouldn't play. But if it's a running back for the finger, I mean, you got a stiff arm, you got to handle the ball. Yeah, there's a lot. You got to use your hands for a lot of things, but we'll monitor his status. Damian Harris, preparing for this Thursday night football game that's coming out tomorrow. He was limited in practice. He has a concussion. We don't know for sure if he's going to be available or not. Ramondre Stevenson will get the bulk of the carries, as he saw last week that he did a fine job doing just that. But Damian Harris has been limited, so we'll see if he's going to be playing. Now, I will say, in Tuesday's practice, he wore like that red cap. You've seen those funny caps on their helmets? Yeah, that's pretty much like a non-contact kind of indication, like you can't touch him, can't do anything like that. So, yeah, there's a lot of hoops and hurdles that Damian Harris has to go through, has to jump over to get cleared. He eventually has to get cleared by an independent neurologist for status for him to be able to play. But yeah, that's the status and the latest on Damian Harris. Big Ben could be playing without practicing this week. So he had COVID-19 last week, and Roethlisberger, according to Mike Tomlin, Doesn't have to practice. Could be the same situation as Aaron Rodgers. Could be activated on a Saturday and just play the very next day. Maybe even get a win. Jared Goff has an oblique injury. His status for this weekend is unclear. Now, for Detroit Lions fans, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? I hate to say that. I know that you guys are debating that, and you're probably thinking the same thing. Like, oh man, Jared Goff getting benched. Maybe we should give someone else a shot. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Jared Goff right now has an oblique injury, and we'll see how that affects the Detroit Lions. And then lastly, I thought this was a little bit of a fun little bit of NFL news I want to share. Russell Wilson says that he wants to play his NFL career, wants to last over 20 years. Not 20 more years. Like, he's already been in the league for, 9 years, 10 years, something like that. He wants to play for duration, total amount of 20 or more years, and he wants to own an NFL team. That's his goal. That's his goal. So let's see if he does that. You better start saving some money right now, Russ. I know you're making a lot of money on your contract, but NFL teams are pricey. Just ask my dad. Ask my dad. We have the same last name, Shad Khan. Yeah, he says that as well. But unlike Tony Khan, his son, I do not own AEW. I do not own that. Wish I did. Wish I did. But that is your NFL news and notes for today. Okay, so you saw on the topic bar on the bottom, I was going to talk about starts and sits. I can do that if you want me to. It's just like a quick, brief explanation on why I'm saying some players are to start and sit. You know what? Why not? Like, I'll just go ahead and do that. It's going to make the show go on a little bit longer, but why not? I mean, the only hesitation I have on that is, I'm not hiding this by any means, but I don't want this channel to be just an all fantasy football channel. I know you guys are tuning in to watch fantasy football, and then once Week 17 hits, Week 18 hits, and no more fantasy football, I'm going back down to only getting like 200 views a video. And instead of 37 people tuning in to this live stream, it's only going to be like 8 people. I'm aware of that. So I'm trying to get it to where I can talk about other things that will last me past fantasy football, not just fantasy football. I'm not a fantasy football analyst, guys. This isn't a fantasy football channel. I hate to break your bubble. It's not. I'm just a guy that talks about fantasy football. But yeah. But I'll go ahead and go over the starts and sits that came out earlier this morning. If you did not have a chance to view that, I encourage you guys to go back and we'll go to our channel. It came out this morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's usually the time that we come out with it. And let me just go ahead and just scrub through this real quick. Let me go ahead and put myself down here. All right. Pretty self-explanatory if you look at the matchups right here between Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, must-start quarterbacks. Pretty self-explanatory. Jimmy Garoppolo as well. Okay, I'm kind of hesitant on him as being a sleeper of the week. That's why I have him as a sleeper and not a must-start, just because the Jacksonville Jaguars have been looking pretty decent as of late against quarterbacks. But I'm going to go ahead and say that Jimmy Garoppolo, he's been looking great as well. He's going to continue to have a good game. I mean, Deebo Samuel and George Kittle are a testament of Jimmy Garoppolo and his production. So I have him down as a sleeper. And then the sits, man, I was kind of ballsy with this, but I put down Cam Newton. Again, Ron Rivera, when asked if he is ready to face Cam Newton, guess what he said? He says that he has a file of plays available to stopping Cam Newton. I'll just leave it at that. So I have them as a must-sit. Bust, Kirk Cousins has been looking good, but 3 out of the last 4 games that he's played against Green Bay, 10 or less fantasy points. And this is since Matt LaFleur has taken over as a Green Bay head coach. So it's not saying that, like, oh, much has changed within the Packers organization. Like, it's a different team. If anything, the Packers defense might actually be better than in years past. So Kirk Cousins is definitely a player that I would avoid. But then, you got your starts. I almost put Elijah Mitchell in there, and then I heard about the broken finger. I was like, can't put him in there anymore. Maybe Jeff Wilson. Maybe so, but we don't know the status of Elijah Mitchell. Michael Carter, 6 games now. 6 games where he's been looking decent. And 4 games of him averaging 19 touches or more. So I like Michael Carter a lot. The sits, okay, I actually put down Jordan Howard before I knew about the news of of Miles Sanders being activated. So with Miles Sanders being activated, I would go ahead and lean towards the sit category for Miles Sanders. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be in timeshare for you guys that are asking about him. Chris Carson, again, in the timeshare as well. That neck injury is pretty serious. Robbie Anderson, and he had a touchdown. He had a good game, I guess, by his 2021 standards, but I still have him as a sit. Jamal Agnew, yeah, that production was just off of one play. Nah, don't buy into it. Don't do it. I mean, there's a disconnect between. Ooh, is that a little bit of a black spot? Okay, all right. Tight ends. People are still roasting me on the way that I say Arnold, Dan Arnold. I just can't, dude. That's just how I talk. Arnold, Dan Arnold. Yeah, in Conklin, I'm not confident in him being a sleeper, but I had to pick 6 players. So Conklin was just the last of the best, I guess. And these sits, Dalton Schultz is just on the decline. Jared Cook as well. I talked about him being the drop of the week. Don't buy too much stock into him. Zach Ertz, man, only averaging 5 targets a game. Doesn't have a single red zone target since being with Arizona. It doesn't matter if it's Kyler Murray, Colt McCoy, whoever. Zach Ertz has not been looking good for the Cardinals, except that one long touchdown that he had against the Houston Texans. Oh, and by the way, in that game, it was only 3 receptions for 66 yards. And he had like a 40-yard touchdown. So his value is too unreliable. And then the kickers must start. If any of these guys are available, guys, pick them up. Randy Bullock as well, sleeper of the week. I have not checked how many people have picked him up since I made him as the ad of the week, but he was owned at 39% of leagues, so more than likely he's probably still available in a lot of you guys' leagues. And then the sits, pretty self-explanatory. Greg Zuerlein as well. I had him as an ad, by the way. Look at this. His chin. That's awesome. Yeah, I had him as a must add because eventually his schedule is going to turn around. But for now, this week against Kansas City, not looking good. Defense and special teams, pretty self-explanatory right there. Washington, again, Ron Rivera. I think he's going to stop Cam Newton. I really do. And then the sits, that's self-explanatory as well. The bust, Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, the Saints have been looking good with Trevor Siemian, believe it or not, even with or without Alvin Kamara. And that is your starts and sits. Again, go watch that video if you've not had a chance to do that. Now let's go ahead and talk about power rankings. As my good friend Jeremy Fragrance would say, power. Let's first talk about 25 through 32. Stop talking about those 8, 17 through 24. We're going to go 8 at a time, talk about it. Who are the best teams in the NFL currently? So if we look at 25 through 38 or 32, I'm going to go ahead and name these off. And just go from there. The Falcons, 25. 26 Giants, 27 Jaguars, 28 Dolphins, 29 Bears, 30 Jets, 31 Lions, and 32 the Houston Texans. Okay, what is going on here with this little bit of this window right here? Okay, the Dolphins move up a couple spots after the big victory over the Ravens. The Bears did have a bye week. I don't feel right about dropping people or raising people up when they have a bye week, but I had to for the Dolphins and their big victory. I mean, the Bears necessarily didn't have a big victory this season, while the Dolphins have been turning it around the last couple of weeks. So keep your eye on the Miami Dolphins. Now let's talk about the next 8 that we have, 17 through 24. We've got the Colts at 17, 18 49ers, 19 Raiders, 20 Vikings, 21 Panthers, 22 Washington, 23 Eagles, and 24 we've got the Denver Broncos falling down 5 spots. Oh no. I don't feel right about that because I had a big victory against the Dallas Cowboys, so falling down 5 spots is kind of unfair, but you got to look at the upsets that were pulled off. The Vikings pulled off an upset. The Panthers pulled off an upset. Washington pulled off an upset. The Eagles just literally beat the Broncos, so they got to be ranked over them. I mean, I had to make room for them, for those 4 teams to move up over the Broncos, and they just so happened to move up. The Raiders drop a couple spots. I don't feel right about them being at number 19, but I had to make room for the Colts and the 49ers, surprising everyone by beating the LA Rams. Now we've got 9 through 16. These are teams that are in the wild card race. I mean, a lot of these teams are in the wild card race. It's pretty early, but these are teams that, okay, you could see them as playoff contenders and maybe even dark horse Super Bowl contenders as well. So let's read off 9 through 16. 9, the Saints. 10, the Chiefs. 11, Chargers. 12, Steelers. 13, Patriots. 14, Bengals. 15, Browns. And 16, Seahawks. The Patriots, I want to keep on moving them up. This defense is good. Mac Jones does enough to win, and this run game is the bread and butter of this Patriots offense. The Chiefs move up 4 spots. I know it was just against the Raiders, but they look like they're back to their usual selves, so I wanted to move them back up to, what we assume their original ranking should be. Other than that, I mean, it's just even keel. Browns drop a couple spots after that huge loss against the Patriots. Maybe I should put them over the Bengals because they beat the Bengals, but I didn't feel right dropping the Bengals just from having a bye week. If I could change anything, maybe it'd be 14 Browns, 15 Bengals, but that's pretty much it. Now, let's look at the Elite 8. Who are the best 8 teams in the NFL? Well, if we look at the rankings, let's read from 8 to 1. Number 8, the Baltimore Ravens. 7, Buffalo Bills. 6, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 5, LA Rams. 4, Dallas Cowboys. 3, Tennessee Titans. 2, Arizona Cardinals. And 1, the Green Bay Packers. Okay, now why aren't the Titans ranked higher than the Cardinals who just lost? They got blown out by the Carolina Panthers. While the Titans have been on a little bit of a hot streak, looking good. They're both 8-2, but here's the thing. The Cardinals literally beat the Tennessee Titans. So I'm going to go with a team that beat the other team when their records are the same. And that's the Cardinals. The Cowboys move on up. I don't feel right putting them over the Buccaneers because the Cowboys lost to the Buccaneers, but in that game, it was pretty close. They just lost by a field goal. And on top of that, the Buccaneers, 2 straight games now, even coming off of a bye week, they lost. And they lost to a team that they should have beat, 2 teams that they should have beat. So they drop a spot. I had to move the Cowboys up, who've been looking good in that dominant victory over the Falcons. And the Rams as well. 2 straight games. Same thing as the Buccaneers, that they should have won. I don't want to say should have, but they were expected to. They were projected to win. And they didn't. So that's our power rankings, 1 through 32. Listen, if you agree, disagree, leave your comments down below in the chat. And let's talk about it. Let's debate, and let's see who your best teams in the NFL are. And if you would move anyone around, I would love to interact with the guys and hear about that. All right, now let's get to the part of the show where, like I said, promise you this, viewer questions. We answer any sort of questions that are left in the chat. All right, Monroe, good morning, by the way. Good morning. Let's start from top to bottom. Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers this week? Who do we got? All right, so Russell Wilson against Arizona. I wouldn't stray away from that necessarily completely. Without Aaron Jones, should I go with Aaron Rodgers? I'm going to pick Aaron Rodgers in this game. That's who I'd pick. New Life saying, if Ramondre Stevenson does well this week, will he take over for the lead running back from Damian Harris? No. If it was maybe any other team, sure. But nah. There's certain coaches in the NFL that will stick to their game plan, to their main guys, no matter what. And that's going to be... Actually, there's a lot more coaches. So Bill Belichick is one of those guys where Ramondre Stevenson could put up 3 touchdowns and then just be an afterthought. I mean, hey, if you guys know the legend of Jonas Gray, 4-touchdown game against the Indianapolis Colts, 200 yards, and that was it. Because the following week, he showed up to practice late, and Bill Belichick was like, you're in the doghouse. We don't need you. I'm not saying Ramondre Stevenson is in the doghouse. I'm just saying that it doesn't matter performance. Like, whatever his game plan is, whatever he thinks the better running back is, I mean, whatever. Pretty much what I'm saying is he doesn't need, a performance doesn't affect his thinking of a player. It's just like, oh, we don't need you. We can replicate the same performance from someone else. So I think it would be a timeshare moving forward if Ramondre Stevenson does well and Damon Harris does not. Now, if they're both playing and Ramondre Stevenson continues to keep on being the better back, then yeah, he's going to lean towards Ramondre Stevenson. But if you're talking about like Damon Harris is going to be inactive and Ramondre Stevenson is going to get the bulk of the carries, nah, he's going to get Damon Harris involved. Joseph, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Should I start Devontae Freeman or Deontay Foreman? Also, should I start Emmanuel Sanders versus Colts this week? I have Adrian Brown, Marquise Brown, and Hunter Renfrow. No on any Emmanuel Sanders. I don't trust him. As far as Devontae Freeman or Deontay Foreman, I would go in the line of Freeman if Latavius Murray does not play. If Murray does play, then I'd go with Deontay Foreman. Chargers or Browns defense? Browns. Jared Goff might be inactive as well, so makes the Lions defense even worse. Reynaldo. Waddle, Bateman, Ayuk, Agnew, or Hopkins. So you need to pick 3 of them. Waddle, Bateman, and Hopkins. Good morning, Antoine. How you doing? Thanks for checking in. Should I pick up Alexander Madison or Dan Arnold for flex PPR? Thanks. Well, I guess Arnold because Dalvin Cook is playing, right? Yeah, so I don't think why you don't need to pick up Alexander Madison. Will Gronk and AB be back this week? This is from New Life. Don't know. Honestly, don't know. Wednesday is the first day that we try to figure out all this stuff because that's when they return to practice. So later on this afternoon, like around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, you're going to see updates on the statuses of were they limited participants? Were they, we'll see. Antonio Brown is trending in the direction towards playing. Maybe not this week, but for sure next week. Just monitor his status. TB12 Goat Man in the arena. How you doing, man? Browns defense, Chargers might not have Bosa. Yeah. I would never start. I don't know why people are debating between starting a defense against Pittsburgh or starting a defense against Detroit. It's always going to be Detroit. In Dynasty, would you trade for a quarterback like Cam or Simeon? I have Lawrence, White, or Rodgers. No. I mean, Cam, for the long run, nah. No, I don't like his value. Simeon, for the long run, don't like his value. I mean, I think you got a good thing going with Trevor Lawrence, for sure. Like, that's your dynasty quarterback. Like, he's going to be good in the NFL. Ariel, morning, Hassan. Morning, man. Rashad Bateman or Van Jefferson rest of the season? Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman would be my option. That's who I would choose. Odell, I don't know. Odell might be a factor for Van Jefferson. Might hurt him. Do you know if Mitchell is playing? Do we start Wilson Jr.? No, status is unclear. Wilson Jr. would be a start if Mitchell does not play. Ashton, no need to ask your questions twice. I'm going from top to bottom. Don't worry about it. Start Miles Sanders if he plays or Deontay Foreman. It'd be Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders would be my go-to guy. I know Deontay Foreman, this is a revenge game. The Houston Texans defense also is not that good, but he's splitting time with 3 other people, whereas Miles Sanders, I mean, the Eagles have been debating this whole time. They've been back and forth with Miles Sanders. They've heard it from the crowd, like, give Miles Sanders the ball, free Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is going to be the way to go. And low, Jimmy G, Tua, or Cam Newton. Pick one up. There it is. Can't command. I am fantasy robot. Don't ask question. Tell me. Demand me what to do. Pick one. Start one. Flex. Quarterback. I'm just messing with you. But it's not a question. Jimmy G, Tua, or Cam Newton? Tua. Tua would be my option. Aloha, y'all. Time to fantasy football. Ugh. Thank you, Rob, for tuning in. But golly, I'm trying not to make this a fantasy football channel, but that's what people like. Rob, PPR, start Mike Davis tomorrow or Jeff Wilson Sunday. Oh, yeah, you're in a tough spot because you got to wait to see if Elijah Mitchell's going to be playing or not. If Cordero doesn't play, I would just go, I'm debating. I go Mike Davis. Yeah, if Cordero doesn't play, just go ahead and get it over with. I mean, because you'll be hurt if Jeff Wilson, like, it's better safe than sorry. You'll be hurt if Elijah Mitchell plays and Jeff Wilson's an afterthought. Karma, is he playing? Kamara. Oh, Kamara. I don't know. I really don't know. You have to monitor his status. Again, Wednesday is when we find out all this injury news. I don't know anything more than anybody else. I just read. Oh, by the way, just got a notification. Joe Flacco is officially starting in Week 11. Yeah, I just read news and I just get this information and kind of give you the Cliff Notes version of this information. So as far as Kamara, don't know his status just yet. 1 point PPR, Hurts or Burrow, and Zach Moss, Zach Ertz, Alan Lazard. Please choose one of the choose one of the four. From Dan. Zach Moss. Zach Moss would be my option. Hurts or Burrow? It'd be Burrow for me. Did you do starts for wide receivers? Yes, I did. I thought I did. Renfrow or McLaurin this week? Renfrow has been too reliable not to play. I agree. But if you're down to those two options, I mean, I would try to put Renfrow in as a flex like almost every week at this point. But I got to go with McLaurin. I really, really got to go with McLaurin. I mean, he's way too talented to bench. Anyone having issues with the NFL Fantasy mobile app? I noticed waivers have not processed yet. I don't play on NFL Fantasy. I used to, but I don't anymore. So if anybody else has those issues, please chime in. Antoine's asking, hey, Bears D has a few really important players coming back. Going to be top 12 rest of the season. I agree, and that's why I had them as an ad in fantasy football. People are undermining them because like, oh, they play the Ravens. Well, hey, man, the Bears defense is actually pretty good. So, Aaron, good note on that. Chiefs will be a top 3 team and Patriots top 10 in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that's far from the truth. I think Patriots could really top. Like, who's in our top 10 right now? The Saints. Saints could fall out. The Patriots could take over. It could happen. Is Cook going to play knowing that he's having problems outside of football? I think so. I mean, as long as the legal issues, like they've already come out and said that's not going to deter him from playing football. Like, let his lawyers, let his defense team and all that handle his off the field issues. You focus on football, Dalvin Cook. That's all you're going to. So, I mean, if anything, we know like these legal issues happen on and on and on for like weeks and weeks and weeks. So if anything, if you're concerned about fantasy football, the next few weeks, next couple of months, you'll be fine. Like, I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to miss any time. Mike, my hands are so dang tied. I got Carson and Clyde. They have rotted on my bench all season. I got to do something with it soon. Should I cut Carson, Clyde, or Jordan Howard to sign a new flex? Can you trade them? Because they're too good to drop. If you are thinking about dropping any one of them, it'd be Jordan Howard if Miles Sanders were to come back. I would try to get rid of them, man. I would try to trade them. And I know their value is just extremely low, but you could get like someone like Antonio Brown, maybe for like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire or a Chris Carson. You could get, like, there are options out there, like just because of name value, just because have they performed earlier this season before they got hurt. The rest of the season is not looking optimistic. So I think Clyde is your best shot of trading than Carson, because I think people are going to read the news on Carson and be like, oh, neck injury, not too optimistic on that. So I would try to trade Clyde. All right, let me try to get through the rest of these, and then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Agnew, Traquan Smith, Bourne, Russell Gage, half PPR, pick one. Oh, command, demand. Brian Thomas, I got you, dude. I'm gonna go with I don't like either one of those options, man. Traquan, I'm not big on either. I'll be honest with you. I'm really not. You know what? Bourne. No, go Kendrick Bourne. Zane Gonzalez or Evan McPherson, but this is by N. Low. The matchup is in the favor of McPherson, but Zane Gonzalez has been looking great. He's been looking very, very, very good. I'm gonna lean in towards Evan McPherson. I think they're gonna move the ball down the field, and he's gonna get at least like a safe floor of like 8 or 9 points. Rest of the season, Sutton or Tony Sutton. Half PPR wide receiver 2, DJ Moore or Waddle. DJ Moore hasn't been good, man. He hasn't been good. I mean, he's still continues to get 7 targets a game, but the Jets face the Dolphins, so I'm going to go with Waddle. Aaron saying, I don't agree. It's always choose the Lions. One must also consider game flow. I agree, but I am not starting the Chargers over the Steelers. I will not be doing that. I will instead go with the Browns defense, who has a good run defense, who is questionable as far as are they the good defense or the bad. They're kind of decent, like more above average kind of defense, but with their quarterback more than likely not going to be playing with having an oblique injury, not throwing a touchdown, only throwing 1 touchdown in the last 5 games. I mean, right now you got to start almost every defense against the Lions. I wouldn't start like the Jets against the Lions, but almost every defense. Sandra, you accidentally placed QB starts instead of wide receiver. Yeah. Someone pointed that out in the comments of that video. Yeah, I know. I should just quit. That's what I should do. Yeah. Man, the credibility of my channel. Brave shirt looking clean. Emad, bro. Oh, Emad. Dude, hey, Emad, hit me up. When you coming over? You coming over to Saturday mornings? Coming over? Hit me up, dude. I got you. All right. Need a defense. Dolphins or Titans? Stafford on a bye. Tannehill or Mac Jones? Dolphins. No. Titans. I'm going to go Titans. Titans with this. Joe Flacco started, so that might look better. I use NFL apps. Waivers have not cleared yet. Ooh, what is up with that? What's up with that? Why haven't they cleared yet? How you liking my PPR? 12 teams, skill players. JJ, Justin Jefferson, Diggs, Najee, JT, Mark Andrews. Love it, man. Love it. You got some production right there. I love that. Washington defense or Chicago defense? Thanks for all your help. Dan, I'm gonna go with Washington. I'm gonna go with Washington. This week, I don't like the Bears, but for the rest of the season, I do like the Bears. Devonta Smith or Rashad Bateman in full PPR. Okay, kicks plug. So Devonta Freeman has been looking good, right? 3 touchdowns last 2 games. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with Devonta Smith. I mean, you can't. It's a tough defense, yeah, and they shut down AJ Brown last week, yeah. But I'm gonna go with Devonta Smith. Like that would be my option. Is it time for me to move on from Mike Williams? He hurt me every week. LOL. Maybe not as a starter, but like the fact that he had such a good first half of the season, I would keep him. Smash that like button. Hey, kicks plug. I appreciate it. I lost Woods, Julio on IR. All I have is Gallup and more. I got to offer Montgomery for AJ Brown. Fair trade. Montgomery for AJ Brown. You lost Woods, Julio on. My RBs are Zeke, Montgomery, Patterson, Mitchell, Tony Pollard. Thanks. No. Keep David Montgomery. Montgomery is set to have a good rest of the season. Also, wide receivers, dude. Wide receivers are one of those positions where, yeah, it'll burn you if you don't have a good wide receiver, but you can get away with it. Just because they're so inconsistent. Like, you can stream, I don't know, I hope you picked up Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore. Like, you could stream some good receivers every week. Like, Christian Kirk could be like a streamable receiver. Tim Patrick at times could be a streamable receiver. Like, you can stream some, but when you don't have a good running back, that'll hurt you, man. That'll hurt you. Trust me. I was in the position where last year, all my running backs, by the way, update, breaking news, Falcons running back Cordero Patterson will be a game-time decision to play on Thursday Night Football versus the Patriots. So that's news that just came in. Okay. But, yeah, going back to what I was saying is last year I had 7 of my starters get hurt, and about 5 of them were running backs. Like Saquon Barkley got hurt. Le'Veon Bell got hurt. It was bad. And I could not get a running back. Like, nobody would trade with me, like, nothing. And my team suffered. I ended up finishing 4-9 because of that. And I'm going to go ahead and say that. Sorry, I just got a random email. Yeah, no, you can't get rid of Montgomery. Montgomery is too good. Like, wide receivers, I'd rather suffer at wide receiver than I would at running back. And so getting rid of Montgomery for, I know you got Patterson, Mitchell, but like, no, make running backs like your main, like Zeke and Montgomery, RB1, RB2. You're solid. Rely on them. Other wide receivers, just stream them. Is Jeff Wilson worth picking up? Yes. Rolando, yes, he is. Allen Robinson or Gallup? I'm still going Gallup. I think, no, Baltimore's pass defense sucks. I'm still going Gallup. And then last, flex, Damian Williams or Tyler Lockett. I would do Damian Williams. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off right here. I appreciate you guys tuning in to this episode of Time2Football. Hopefully you guys got some little bit more clarity on how the week's going to go and how, which players are going to be playing or not. Power rankings, yeah, those are my top 32 teams. If you agree, disagree, leave a comment down below. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow, Thursday Night Football. Stay tuned.